This is Tim at Ticky Boom. We're going to be making this really cool drift banded text effects in Illustrator. First thing we're going to do is we're going to edit our text. So we're going to create this band effect here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a rectangle. We're going to put it in front of the text. We're going to go ahead and swap the fill to stroke so that we can see what we're doing. And I'm actually going to make the rectangle just a little bit bigger. We're going to center it on the screen. I'm going to go up here to Effect, Distort and Transform, and Transform. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set the orientation to the top, and I'm going to do like 10 copies to start. And then I'm just going to say we're going to do vertical. So as you can tell here, this kind of creates this band effect. What I want to do is I want to make it to where it's kind of in the middle of this D notch here. Let's see if I do a couple more. Okay, so that just adds it to the top there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go to Object, and we're going to go Expand Appearance. And now, as you can tell, these lines are live. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and kind of move this around. I'm going to go like right there, roughly. And this creates now the areas where we want the bands to be. What I'm going to do is to dictate the gap in between the bands here. I'm going to set the stroke height. I'm going to go like, let's go 4. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the rectangle we just made. I'm going to go to Object and Expand. And then that is going to expand everything. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to knock the bands out. If you have live text, go ahead and do Command-Shift-O. And then depending on the font that you have, you're going to need to unify everything. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom in here. We want to get nice and tight. Go ahead and select everything. And we're going to start knocking bands out. So I'm going to do Shift-M, which is the shape builder tool. And we're just going to knock stuff out. After you're done knocking the bands out, let's go ahead and select all of this, and we're going to delete it. As you can tell here, now we have our shapes. So just see if there's any other kind of little things that you missed. So like right here, I missed this for some reason. And what you're going to do is select everything and do Command-Shift-G a bunch of different times so everything is ungrouped. Let's make sure stuff is ungrouped here. If there's still grouped things, go ahead and compound path and release. So it looks like these right here are compound paths. I'm going to go ahead and release those. And these are fine. These seem to be fine. And these seem to be fine. So this is our next step. We're going to go ahead and create an offsetting kind of effect. So we know that we dictated the band gaps here to 4 pixels. What we're going to do is we're going to go up here to the transform, and we're going to go to the y-axis, and we're going to do +8. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the next row of bands. I'm going to go to the transform, and I'm going to go to the y-axis and do +4. Then, as you can tell here, I'm going to go here to these next set of bands, and I'm going to go to the transform, and I'm going to go to the y-axis, and I'm going to do +2. And then now you can tell here we have this sort of offsetting effect. We are now set up to put some magic on this puppy. So what we're going to do is I'm going to select these bands right here. I'm actually going to select everything. I'm going to do Command-C, Command-F. And I'm just going to put this over here to the side, and you'll see why here in a second. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to these bands right here, and I'm going to select this row. I'm going to go up to Object, Compound Path, Make. And what I'm going to do is, to save time, I created these swatches on the side. I'm just going to press I for the eyedropper tool and sample it. And then I'm going to go to the gradient, and I believe we had this at 90. Now that you have the gradient applied to each of these bands, what we're going to do is we're going to select everything, we're going to group it, we're going to go over here to transparency. We're going to go to multiply. Then what we're going to do is, with this selected, we're going to do Command Shift forward bracket to bring it all the way up front of the layers. Then what we're going to do is we're going to bring this right here. We're going to do grouping, and we're going to center it. So now we have this overlaid here, and let me actually make sure this is centered as well. There we go. So now we're set up to really put some awesome magic on top of this. The next step, what we're going to do is we're going to create this drop shadow here. So we're going to select the multiply layer, and we're going to do Command 2 to lock it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to select this right here, and we're going to Command C, Command F, and then Command C, Command F one more time. Then we're going to make it a little bit smaller, and we're going to put it back, let's say like right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to select this smaller version, and we're going to sample the background color. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sample the purple color, and then we're going to bring this to the front. And what we're going to do is select both of these right here. So I'm going to select this one and select this one. And I'm going to do the blend tool, and then I'm going to select the purple and then select the dark. Now what we're going to do is we're going to double click on the blend options. We're going to go to specify distance, and I'm going to do 2. This makes it super fluid. I'm going to click OK. And then what we're going to do is we're going to select this. We're going to bring it back in its layering. Now that we have our shadowing set up, let's go ahead and do this last layer of magic. And what that is we're going to do this really kind of cool coloring. So let's quickly do that. What you can do is you can do a rectangle, and I'm going to do it roughly the size of the lettering, and I'm going to go ahead and center it on the stage here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go up to Object and create Gradient Mesh. And what we're going to do is we're going to do flat, and we're going to do 3 by 3, and we're going to go ahead and set that up. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to do like a white color, and we just kind of go and we select these nodes and we figure out what is the kind of colors that we want to do. And you can kind of create some really cool intrigue here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sampling some stuff here. So just select the node. Then what's really interesting now is I'm going to go ahead and put this over to the side. We're going to go ahead and select this drift, and we're going to Command C, Command F it. And I'm going to bring it right here. And just to make sure that we have this, I'm going to bring it up in its layers. I'm going to make sure it's center aligned. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this gradient mesh that we made. I'm going to go ahead and center it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the drift right here. I'm going to go to Object, Compound Path, Release. And then I'm going to go to Object, Compound Path, Make. And then I'm going to select both the gradient mesh and the drift and do Command 7. And as you can tell here, now it is cut to this drift. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring it back one layer so that we can apply the shadowing to it. And then what's really interesting is we can do all kinds of stuff. So since this is cut within the drift, we can see our gradient within the context of drift, and you can actually move these nodes around and create sort of like interesting sort of stuff here. This is really kind of fun stuff. So you can kind of move it around. Like let's say this one, we wanted to come up here. And you kind of just, you know, kind of mess around, kind of fool around, have some fun. After you get your color gradient, I like to put a little bit of texture on here. So what I'll do is I'll go up to File, and I will do a little bit of place. And I like to always pull from this library that we made of textures. And I'm going to go ahead and just place it on the artboard here. I'm going to zoom out just a touch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rotate it, and I'm going to center it on the stage here, and I'm going to just kind of drill it down. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and sample the blue. And then I am going to go over here and I'm going to do the color burn and do like 50% and see what that kind of looks like. You can do it to your own taste. And that's a wrap. Hope this has inspired you to make some really cool text effects in Illustrator. As always, your friend in design, Tim at Tiki Boom. Hey, this kitty wants you to like this video, subscribe, get notifications. Just do what the kitty wants. Bye.